Good evening. My name is Hannah Kilpatrick, and I'm a senior at Pickens High School and a second-year youth leadership graduate. I would like to thank everyone for being here tonight. Thank you to our steering committee for making this program possible, to my fellow graduates for all your hard work, and to our parents for their continuous support. I would also like to recognize and thank our political constituents here tonight. Please stand as I say your name. State Representative Rick Jasperse.
He's cross-eyed.
He's next door to us.
Commissioner Chair Robert Jones. Commissioner Jerry Barnes. Field Representative for Senator David Perdue, Beatrice Terralda. Superintendent Dr. Lula Mae Perry. Let's give him a round of applause. I am blessed to have been a member of this program because I feel like I am not only closer with my fellow graduates, but also with my community. I am grateful to have received advice and guidance about my professional life and personal life that will be essential in the upcoming years. At this time, I'd like to welcome Michelle Robertson from the Episcopal Church of the Holy Family to give tonight's invocation.
Thank you, Hannah. Tonight, I say to you graduates and you juniors as you're rising into the senior class at Pickens High School, these special words. They were said to me as I sat in a dinner like this my senior year in high school. Only open the gates that can receive visitors. Only open the hand that can receive gifts. Only open the mind that can receive wisdom. Only open the heart that can receive love. If you only open these doors, you will miss great memories. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, tonight you have brought together a group of young people that represent Pickens County. They have been given gifts, they have been given talents, and they have given their time back to you and to the community. As they venture out onto a new dream, onto a new journey, onto a new wish of becoming something that you are giving them, I pray that they will see the plan that you have laid before them. Thank you for their parents. Thank you for their teachers. Thank you for the steering committee that brought together this program to give them something special, to give them the guidance of their community, so that one day they may come back to their community and share your gifts, share your talents, and share the things that they have learned. But if they do not, help their journey to be so bright. Help them to see what we see in them, because they are Pickens County's finest. Use this food to nourish our bodies, us to do your service, and for us to always remember whose we are, not who we are. For it is in Jesus Christ's name that I pray. Amen.
Great. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jenny Morris, and I'm a senior here at Pickens High School. I am this year's salutatorian. I am also the senior class secretary and chapter president for FBLA, which stands for Future Business Leaders of America. This is my second year in youth leadership. Now, I believe I speak for the rest of my peers when I say that this program has definitely influenced our leadership capabilities. Personally, I entered youth leadership at a time in my life where I was just beginning to grow into myself. In the words of Fitzgerald, I was unearthing my, quote, fundamental character. I did not yet perceive myself as a leader. 2 long years later, I am now leaving the program with the cognition and consequential assertion that I am, in fact, a competent leader. And the speech is proof. I mean, 2 years ago, I would have been pretty scared to even come before you all, so here I am. In elaboration, I, along with my peers, now know what it takes to be a good leader, or at least a decent one. We are able to recognize and exhibit such qualities. Some desired attributes include integrity, an ability to motivate/encourage others and yourself, kindness, responsibility, efficiency, and organization. Youth leadership has helped to ingrain these key principles within us, and we hope to carry them with us as we continue to move forward. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Angie Jones, Pickens County President of Renaissance Bank, and I chair the Youth Leadership Committee. And Representative Jasperse will be back in to join us shortly, so we will mix up the program a little bit. But I'd like to say I've watched Jenny grow over the last 2 years, and it has been wonderful to sit back and watch her develop and become the speaker and the individual she is today. I know she will go far. I'd like to welcome you tonight. Thank each of you for loaning your children to us, some for the last 2 years, some for this year. We have truly enjoyed them. As I said, we've watched Jenny and all of the others grow so much. It's been a pleasure to have them each week. Tonight, I am here to recognize several different individuals and companies. Our host sponsor is Chattahoochee Technical College. Thank you for being one of our sponsors as well and for being our host tonight. Premier sponsors are Georgia Power, Northside Hospital Cherokee, and Cheryl Messner CPA. We have additional financial sponsors that are shown on the slide in the back of the room. At this time, if you are a Chamber of Commerce Board of Director, will you please stand and be recognized? I'd like to recognize our Youth Leadership Steering Committee. All these individuals are volunteers, and they work very hard to make sure all of the programs are a success in preparing and getting speakers and food sponsors and everything else that we need to make sure that it's going to happen each month. Please stand as I call your name. Cheryl Messner is the committee co-chair with Cheryl Messner CPA. Denise Duncan with the Pickens County Chamber of Commerce. Michelle Bracken, Boys and Girls Club of North Georgia, and she's unable to be here tonight. Cheryl Carter, retired teacher. Sherry Martin, Pickens County Board of Education. Stacy Fields, Amclo Electric Membership Corporation. And Lexi Hardman with Pickens County Chamber of Commerce. If any of the interviewers were here in February to help with that session, would you please stand at this time? Thank you. While we're waiting on Representative Jasperse, we'll have Denise Duncan to come up and we'll go ahead and recognize the youth.
All right. Good evening, everyone. As you know me, I'm Denise Duncan, President at the Pickens County Chamber of Commerce, and very excited for another year of our youth leadership graduation. We thanked a lot of people tonight, but mostly want to thank also the parents that allowed us to borrow your children this year, one night a month, and then especially for the overnight retreat in Athens. That was the first year that we've taken kids to Athens. And we were nervous. I don't know if you were nervous, but we were pretty nervous about taking a bunch of teenagers to Athens. But they were very well behaved. I think they had a good time. There was one little bit of period that I did get scared to death. Where is my screamer? Right at the back of the room. They did the high ropes course, and they had 2 different ropes course. One was just had my back turned, and I was watching here, and what they had to do, you were a group, there were 2 of you, right? And so they had to together step off. I think you could if you did it. I wouldn't have done it. But together, you had to be willing to basically bungee off of this big tall thing and swing. Well, they did it, but I thought it was a blood-curdling scream, and I expected to find a body on the ground, and I had already tried to figure out what am I going to say to her parents when I get back to the top of the hill. And she was just swinging by the time we got up there, but we had it on video. Should anyone watch it? We probably should have played that tonight. But and you weren't the only one that screamed. You led the screams. because everybody else that came off that screen as well. But we had a good time. I think there was great team building, and that weekend led to a wonderful year. So thank you, parents, for allowing us. Thank you, sponsors, for helping support and allow us to fund this program. So let's get to recognizing the youth who are going to be we say future leaders of the community, but they are already leading, obviously. You've heard two of them speak tonight. You'll get to hear another, but any of them could have gotten up here and spoke. And I would have loved to have been able to hear from each of them. First, we have a 2-year graduate, Ms. Elizabeth Adams. And Elizabeth, if you'll walk that way, we've got a goodie bag for you, and then come up this way and get your certificate and have your photo ready. All right, and we have a first-year graduate, so we need to expect you to come back, Ms. Carrie Asher. And even if you don't want to, you know we're going to make babies come back. All right, we have another 1-year graduate, Miss Anna Boyle. Just so to kind of explain those of you who don't know, between 1-year and 2-year graduates, just because you're a 1-year graduate doesn't necessarily mean they are juniors. Some are seniors that have only participated in the program for 1 year. Lord, kicked off. Okay, we got a 2-year graduate, Miss Sadie Cornett. Congratulations. Okay, 2-year graduate, Haley Gate. What are y'all feeding these kids? There's no dog. It's the chicken. The chicken. And I have a 2-year graduate who's probably itching to be next door. I would bet with the politicians, Mr. Tucker Green. Right? All right, Mrs. Abby Hardman. She's not here. She is. She got a great acceptance for pole vaulting.
She made sectionals for pole vaulting.
Yes.
Yes.
There was a very tough decision for her not to be able to make graduation, but she will be going this weekend, and she felt like she really needed to practice. So, Kaylee Giant is a 1-year graduate. two-year graduate, Ms. Hannah Kilpatrick. And for someone who I never heard speak all year, speak very well. Very good. She's very quiet person. Actually, 2 years I heard her speak. Okay, two-year graduate, Ms. Alex Lemieux. Hey, one-year graduate, Brianna Lingerfeld. Two-year graduate, Chanel Macomb. All right, one-year graduate, Meredith Miller. We really do have guys, I promise. They're coming. They're very entertaining too. Oh, there's one we finally have a little one. All right, Miss Jenny Morse, our two-year graduate. I have to say something about Jenny. Jenny was so sweet. Both years, she would send us cookies to say thank you. She always sent the steering committee emails thanking us for things, and so I want to give a special thank you back for always being so kind to the steering committee, for being gracious, for being a part of youth leadership. All right, we have a one-year graduate, Miss Sydney Romine. Sydney is a brave youth leadership. She's kept my grandson and my daughter, but she allows them to tell her what to do. And does it with a smile. Okay, one-year graduate, we got Jessica Roper. First guy passed, you know,
Tucker?
I know, but no, I was going to call him what are y'all? Politicians. So, Mr. Wesley Shelton, two-year graduate. Most entertaining. They're a little quiet this year, I think. He was quieter than last year. Somebody tamed you.
What?
Somebody tamed you. What happened? and the guy who allowed us to have a birthday party at the University of Georgia, who has the best mom ever, who brings everybody treat bags, right? To your graduate, I'm gonna say Andy Torres. They say it with a roll of the tongue, so I'm gonna say Andy Torres. And he has also the best bright blue jacket at the interview. Okay, Mr. Samuel Barber. Scared to call this one up here. One-year graduate, Mr. Skylar Denton. Never a dull moment with that one. All right, Bailey Jordan, one-year graduate. How you gonna follow that one, Bailey?
You got flags on you.
All right, we got our author in the room, Mr. Jackson Leak, one-year graduate. Brag on Jackson, who published his own book, Room 22, Jasper Society. Sorry, Jackson. I give this one a really hard time. He got stuck with me in the car. Mr. Andrew Olson, one-year graduate. Juliana Payne, one-year graduate. Do it for me one time. I can tell you, you would wake everybody up next door. Congratulations. Okay, Grady Pearson, one-year graduate. This guy was dying to buy my house, but his mom and dad wouldn't buy it for him. So now we're neighbors. Folsom Proctor, one-year graduate. Did you put your sons there? It's like having nightmares. Look at them. This is mean of you. I thought you'd be nice like your mom. Sierra Stanfield, one-year graduate. Well, leave this last so I can really screw up a last name. Mary Zidema. She is a one-year graduate. Let me say, this is an amazing leadership class. They were given, this was the first year that we implemented a lot of additional responsibilities. And before graduation, we had some that had some uncompleted items. And so we said, they weren't enough that we didn't want them to graduate. So we said, well, why don't we have some distinguished who have met every single thing, and some that are graduating. So they would have, some would have the gold seal on their certificate. If you notice, every single diploma has a gold seal. Before graduation, every single graduate completed every single responsibility. One of those things that we just didn't expect to happen, and I'm just really proud. Throughout the year, we did lose a few, unfortunately, but it wasn't one of those things they didn't expect it. They knew they weren't able to complete it, and they had to step down from the program. So I'm really proud of each and every one of you, and I want you to know that those of you who can return next year, we hope that you do. Those of you who are moving on to bigger and better things, we hope that you'll kind of give us your feedback. We always want you to consider coming back as possible speakers for future programs and graduations, as well as we have an adult leadership class. And that is always a possibility for you to participate in. Now, if you recall, we had a few little competitions going on, and one of those was your scavenger hunt. And I understand there was a team that won. There was 2 teams that won?
2 teams got it 100% correct.
Oh, okay, 2 teams. So there's some winners who are getting little treasure boxes. So you'll get your little boxes. Do you want them to come up here now, or do you want to do a picture afterwards? Okay, so come get your box, and then you're going to have your picture after the graduation. So I'm going to call your name out, take your box, and sit back down. But congratulations. And what the scavenger hunt was, it was really getting to learn more about downtown Jasper's. Ruth here, Ruth Wall. Now Ruth, with the Marble Valley Historical Society is who put that on, but Farrell Carter was in charge of that session to do that. We don't look like that. You are our historian. Okay, Miss Elizabeth Adams, you are one of the winners. Miss Carrie Ash, Miss Sadie Cornett, Hannah Kilpatrick, Jessica Roper. Okay, guys, where are y'all? Sierra Stanfield and Mary Zideman. Not one dude. All right, and then the the other little friendly award or competition was our golf ball sales. And there were a few of you who were really going at it. But our award goes to our politician. Come on up here and open your gift. We put a lot of thought into it. So we really want to make sure that everybody sees what he got, because he sold above and beyond what he was supposed to. So yeah, we want you to open it. He got golf set and $50 cash. One last thing before we have our speaker has returned to us. And I'm actually going to open it because we'll put it back into the bag. We have a special presentation. Unfortunately, we have somebody ditching us. No, just teasing. Sherry Carter has been with me and even Angie with Youth Leadership Program for 10 years. This is our 10th year this year. And before. And she is not only retired from the school, which she did before she's retiring from us, but she is going to go full-time being a grandma when needed. And so we want to thank you, and we looked back through the photos and found from all the years that you were a part of it.
It's orange.
Yeah, that's it. We need orange pictures and all the different graduation photos, and you were in charge of all the downtown walking tours when we did it. That was your session. And you were such a part of when you were teaching at school, as well as youth leadership. I felt like I found the perfect gift, and until tonight, I didn't realize how perfect it was until you gave me your oil. I didn't know you were into the essential oils, but this necklace has 2 keys, because I feel like you've opened the door for so many different youth, both at school and then also with youth leadership. And then the oil is to give love, because you've given it, but now you're going to give more with your grandbabies. So I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for the chamber, and I think the kids would agree that you've been wonderful to all of us.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Okay, I'll try to be brief, but most of you out here know me well enough to know that I have to say something. And it's not just go Tennessee. This last year, after retiring from teaching after 40 years, I have discovered that I absolutely, truly adore getting older. Now, there may be only 2 or 3 out there that understand what I'm saying, but I love getting older because I have the joy of being able to say, yeah, I was a part of that and helped start that 12 years ago, 13, 14 years ago, and I've been with these girls 10 years. I got to teach that one back when they were in 6th grade and work with that one and that one and that one. And then I go to Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm walking with my daddy. And this just happened back a couple of months ago when a student comes up and said, oh, you were my teacher in 6th grade. That was 1975. Because they're bald-headed and are you serious? But yes. And I want to say what a marvelous community, county that this is. I absolutely loved teaching here in Pickens County, and I love being a resident here, and this is home. Even though my hometown is Knoxville, Tennessee, Jasper is my home, and I want to thank each and every one of you. And it's hard to say I've got to quit, but duty calls. And my 5-year-old and 2.5-year-old and the one that's not here yet, that's coming in June, they're the ones that have my heart now. And as my daughter-in-law said today, now you're going to teach them leadership. And I said, I certainly hope so. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. Well, I am proud to be able to invite Representative Rick Jasperse to the stage. I'm excited to say that he's not somebody that you just see every once in a while. We get to see him very often. He's at our Capitol representing us, but he's in Jasper very, very often. So, Mr. Jasper?
Rick.
Rick?
So, okay, now, get over it. Stop looking at my shoes. Well, I have gout, and I'm on the tail end of it, thank goodness. So, you know, it was funny, Governor Deal, when I was with him today, the first time, we had the bill signing at the Capitol today, and he just looked at it and goes, only you would do that. And I said, I've got gout, Governor Deal. And he goes, Rick, no, you know, it's other things. But, you know, bill signing was a big deal today, but I just want to say thank you, Ms. Carter. I miss seeing that orange Mustang at the school every time I drive, you know, by the school. And sure appreciate all you've done. Thank you very much. You're the kind of folks that makes Pickens County wonderful. And so when I was, I'm just glad to be here to talk to y'all tonight. So I was sitting on my front porch yesterday. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do any gardening or anything. And so I called my oldest daughter. I said, I got to do this thing. You know, Elizabeth teaches high school English at Houston County High. So I said, well, how about this? How about this? She goes, no. I don't want to hear that. Well, how about this? No. No. I mean, we went through this no thing. I said, well, what do they want to hear about? She goes, just tell them about stuff that you think is important. And I said, well, about lifelong learning? She goes, yeah, you're all about that. And do that, about money and some of the other stuff. And tell them a story about being in the legislature. And that's what I'm going to do. So, on education, she goes, just tell them what you think, Daddy. As you, our young people, have got to become lifelong learners. Well, you hear that from all people, and I'm going to just jump in there and tell you too. I'm going to tell you in just a little bit different ways. And it comes from my kids and other kids I've been around. But so in 2016, you need to subscribe to an online national newspaper because you got to figure out what's going on in this world. You know, your 11th graders and 12th graders going on to an incredibly challenging world. But you got to trust that paper, and you got to look at one. You got to read your local paper. Yeah, for us who are here is the Progress, but if you're in a different town, you need to read that local paper. You got to find out what's going on. And look at a news accumulator. And Marcia goes, what is a news accumulator? Well, I get 2 or 3 every day, and these are people that are paid nothing but to look across the state of Georgia and find the news articles of importance across the state, and they send them to me because they want everybody to kind of know what's going on. Those are important because to be an active citizen today, you just can't live in the little world. You've got to be well informed. And whatever trade or career you choose, whether it's welding, set design for movies, or a lawyer, or city councilman, or commissioner, join the association that supports that trade and be a part of it. You've got to be an active part of it. And see, these are things that people may not tell you, but that's what I tell my kids. And then you've got to subscribe to a publication that's within that trade and learn about it and be a part of it because your continuing learning is going to be what keeps you employed. You know, because the job you have today, it's not the job you're going to have 25 years from now. You know, people change jobs every 7, 8 years now, or even more. And these publications improve your knowledge. They make you more well-rounded, so you know more about it. And they're not only just facts about how to fix something or make something, but they're what other people in other parts of the country are doing, or maybe other parts of the world. Because as much as we just want to stick our heads in the sand, this is a worldwide economy. And when you're in the capital like I'm at, you see people from all over the world there. Because they want to come here. Because the kind of state we are, the kind of business organization we run in the state, they want to come here. And we want you to work for them. But you've got to be up to date. Because they're going to hire you based on the skills you bring them. Not because you're a nice guy, you got good hair, or any of that stuff. That high school stuff ends. But it's the skill you bring to that room that helps them. And you just don't get it by sitting around. It's active participation in education that gets you there. And because when you go to work at these places, they're going to be just thrilled you're there because you're new, you're highly educated, you're going to catch a skill that nobody else in that room has that's in that business. They're going to love you. But how long does that love last if you just sit on your hands? Not long, because the next guy coming is going to take all that love. You've got to get it in your mind that I'm going to continually learn, read, and do things, and it'll work. Enough about that. Elizabeth said, 1.5 minutes. Next, learn about money. This is from my son. He said, yeah, the green stuff. It's important, real important. Not just about groceries, cars, a home. He's 25 years old, but something called retirement. Because Social Security probably won't be here when you 16 and 17-year-olds get to be 65. Something you're going to have to do on your own. And there are lots of courses out there. It's not something we teach in high school. Maybe we should, with all the other things we make them do. But Dave Ramsey, there are courses out there that he and I were talking about that kind of give you a guideline to have a successful financial life. Because he says, financial life, a good financial life will be calm life. And he said, because Dad, there's always, my son's an accountant, always someone else who wants to take advantage of your ignorance about money. If you're 16 years old, you better listen to that. There's always someone who's going to take advantage of your ignorance about money. And they're going to take advantage of you. And that's one thing he said, because he said, a calm financial life is a good life. And so, Marcy laughed, I heard her. We're going to see how that works out for him. But, see, he's like his dad, telling him things he ought to do. And Mary Alice said, I'll talk about what I've learned in politics. Because, believe it or not, I live with my daughter in Atlanta and during the legislative session. And it's been a fabulous experience because she was going through law school, graduating law school, getting her first job, and I lived with her for 3 months every year. Wonderful. It wouldn't take anything for it. But so she heard all these stories I would tell her every night. We'd get home and I'd tell her all the crazy things that happened during the day. She goes, tell them about the Capitol and how you think it's like high school. And, these are adults like me down there, younger and older. But I want you to think about it, young people, when you think about the first day in 9th grade when you walked in Pickens County, how was your first high school experience? And those of y'all who are going to college next year, put yourself in that position. I'm going to college next year. Because just think about it, the life at the Capitol is very similar for new people. Because a freshman, you get a new start, right? Lots of new folks you don't know, and lots of folks that don't know you, which is a good thing. You've got the chance to remake yourself. You can change your hairstyle, your clothing style, your friends group. You get to change the seriousness you have about education. You have that opportunity to. Teachers don't know who you are. You burn a bridge or two, right knuckle to you. They don't know you, but you got a new chance. And you have a lot more choices to make. But I put the big word but. When you walk into that lunchroom, with those 300 other people, you're confronted with a decision. Who really are you? Do you go to that table with those hard studiers, the fancy hairdos? What do you do? And you know, those people have to accept you too. It's a tough moment. We had that same moment in the legislature. The first, was it the second Thursday in January, wherever we go, we walk into a room with 180 people who are judging you. What you wear, who you talk to, who you're standing beside, what you look like, what do you have in your hand. It's just a total judgment thing. But where do you fit in? And you know, like I said, the legislature's like that. And people in the legislature come from just like high school, just like going to be a freshman in college. They come from all over the state of Georgia and in college all over the world. With all different kinds of values and backgrounds. And you're going to try to fit in. And when they go out to lunch, you want them to ask you to go with them. They go out to dinner in the legislature, I sure wanted to go with them. When people were standing over in the corner, like Commissioner Barnes, I wanted to know what they were talking about. I wanted to be a part of that group. Both the choices. They had these secret meetings I wanted to be part of. But you have to make decisions, just like you did in high school, like I had to make. But what you are and who you are. Fortunately, I was 55 years old when I went there, and it was pretty easy. I was pretty stuck in who I am. But do you agree with those people you're with? And what do you, and the ones that you want to be friends with? And I think the biggest question is, what do you have to give up to be part of that group? Or will you? And is it worth it? And I think with a little patience, I found my way down there, and you'll find your way too, with groups that have the same values that you do, the same thoughts on issues, and that they may not be the cutest people, have the best clothes, the best hair status, but you'll find that group. But I really talk about values because most people don't these days. And, you know, it's a combination of your life experiences, what your parents tried to teach you right now, what your brain's going on, your religious values, your beliefs, how closely you hold them, and all this other stuff. You've got to learn to live with them. As going into college or wherever, you've got to learn to live with them. But this makes me get all excited. But you don't ever give them up. It's hard. You've got to be strong. And I think it was hard on me down there because, you know, this is the biggest thing I've probably ever done in my life. And, you know, did I find a group? Yeah, I did. At least 3 different groups over 6 years. Today, some of those legislators and the early groups I was in will not talk to me today because I left their group. And it's just like it is in high school, isn't it, kids? And I know some of y'all are pleased to know that. But I told you that to get you to think about your next few years because it really sets who you're going to be and what you're going to do. You know, being that lifelong learner, being a money manager, who you're associated with, as your parents have all told you, will make your life easy or it'll make it hard. And but I'm real excited you're investing your time in something I feel is very important, and that's youth leadership. And because you learned about your community, I hope they planted a seed that whatever community you live in, you do like Ms. Carter did, and invest your private, personal time in other people, making them better. Now, my kids also wanted me to tell you about to call your mom and dad regularly. What else is that? Use your brain. Now, you can call any of my kids, and they can quote you the story about using your brain and not your friend's brains. That's will be a big deal in your life. To pet friendly dogs. Respect the dining hall people. When you go to school, to respect them, because they're going to be students just like yourself, and respect them for the job they're doing. Exercise every day, which I think is funny. For me, drink plenty of water, try to get enough sleep, and as Mary Alice ended it, she goes, and you've got to enjoy your life. And, you know, and I think she's right. She sets you up to do that. These people, your parents and all, have all this time, have set you up to enjoy life and do great things. So I hope you take advantage of it. But thank you for letting me be here tonight and just say just a few words, maybe to inspire you, to make you think about a few things, and make your parents say, see, somebody else said that too. But that's all from me. But next up we have Michelle Robertson, who I know you'll love with professional women of Pickens County will talk to you next. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I am the mother of 3 fabulous kids, and I got to share some special time with your kids this year too. I did the etiquette portion that we did over at the Tate House, and we had a blast. They're fun, cool kids, and it helped me become a little bit more of who I am. So thank you for sharing your time and allowing me to share my time with you. I am the Secretary of Professional Women of Pickens County. We are an organization that is under the umbrella of the Pickens County Chamber of Commerce. 5 years ago, the Women of Professional Women of Pickens County, PWPC, decided we wanted to give back to this wonderful program. And we started giving scholarships to a number of the senior graduates. How did they get these scholarships? They applied. There was an application, there were a number of essays in there, and over the last 5 years, we have given away 5 $250 scholarships every 5 years. So again, we're proud to do that exact same thing this year. So as I call your name, I'd like you to come up, receive your certificate, and receive your scholarship. But the one last thing I want to leave you with tonight is be the best at whatever you are. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a shrub in the valley. Be the best little shrub this side of the hill. Be a bush if you cannot be a tree. If you can't be a bush, be a bit of the grass. Some highway happier make. If you can't be a muskie, then be a bass. Be the liveliest bass in the lake. We can't all be captains. We've got to be part of the crew. There's something for all of us here. There's big work to do. And there's lesser to do, and the task we must do it the near. If we can't be a highway, then just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best at whatever you are. Congratulations, juniors, and congratulations, seniors. We can't wait to see what you will be in the future. I'm going to ask Miss Nancy Unzinger, who is one of our past presidents of PWPC, to come up and help me with this. Our first recipient is Hannah Kilpatrick. Our second recipient is Alexandria Lemieux. Third is Sydney Romine. Fourth is Jessica Roper. And last but certainly not least is Andre Torres. And I believe to close us out tonight, our politician will come up and share with us Mr. Tucker Green.
I know everybody's ready to get home, so I'll be brief. Good evening, my name is Tucker Green. I'm a senior at Pickens High School, and I'm a 2-year youth leadership participant. First off, I want to thank everyone for being here. It's really encouraging, I know, for all the participants to look out and see so many people who are invested in the youth in our community. Youth leadership has had a tremendous impact on my life over the past 2 years. I've grown as a leader, gained wonderful friendships, and I've had the opportunity to be a part of many tremendous experiences. On behalf of all the participants, I would like to thank our sponsors for your financial investment in our program and the future. Thank you to our wonderful steering committee for putting up with this year. A big thank you to our local officials for all of your support. And lastly, thank you to the Chamber of Commerce and Pickens High School for your partnership. If it wasn't for that, this wouldn't be possible. I look forward to seeing what the future holds for the young leaders in this room and the community we all call home. Thank you, and God bless.